So today we're going to be looking at the Inspire FTX or the Centr FTX, Centr 2, whatever you want to call it now. Centr actually bought out Inspire, but it's the exact same model, exact same machine. It just is rebranded. As you know from my channel, I do have equipment that I do reviews on, but I use them for quite a long time before I actually do talk about them. So I'm going to go through, is this the right machine for you? Does it really work for the intended purposes? What the pros and the cons are? And there are definitely some cons from using this thing, but are they game breakers at all? So thanks for joining me today. Let's get into it. So this section real quick is just on the pricing, and I just checked Costco right when I'm doing this video, and this is not by coincidence. Costco does have it on sale for $999. So if you want it, you should definitely buy it now. It doesn't get any lower than this. This is the best price that they have. And the next screenshot here is just the quick dimensions that they have on it. I do have in a future section of just the dimensions that they have for it. So we just went over how much it costs. It is on sale sometimes at Costco for $9.99. Typically it's $12.99 now, which I think it's still a pretty good price. I did show you the measurements just for a second, but I'm just going to show you really quick. So for reference, I'm about 6'1". So if you're a tall individual and trying to do pull-ups on this, it will definitely work, but it is not necessarily the best, especially for my situation here, which I'm about 90 inches to my drop ceiling in my basement. And I know a lot of people have this situation as well, but just for this purpose, because I know some people do like to see it, we're 82 inches from the floor here. And the wingspan, if you were going to be doing some cable flies, is about 46 inches or so. It really doesn't bother me too much. There's a couple exercises which I'm going to show you in some future ones that kind of is a little bit annoying, which is the lat pull down. You pretty much just have to sit on the floor because you are a taller individual. It by no means doesn't not work, but it's just not the most convenient, but it's okay from there. But I just want to show you two short measurements so you get an idea of the height and if this will be limiting for you or not. So we're going to talk about the accessories here for a second. This bench that's included, I know a lot of people have some gripes about it because it is quite low to the ground, which that is not necessarily my biggest gripe of it. I'll kind of show you how it works here. So there's a little pin on the side, comes up, and then it just locks into place. And then I'm just going to put it on the ground here, and then there's a side adjustment here that you put your hand on that unlocks the bench, which is right here. Just pull it up and this will come out here. So it has a couple different levels. It does have the pretty much straight up for the most part. And then we'll kind of do an incline bench there. It's pretty sturdy and it is pretty stable. So this is my biggest issue with this bench here. It's not necessarily the height to the ground. I'm going to get on here, there. So if I'm doing any type of cable flies or any type of presses, this is the part that I don't necessarily like, because when you're doing cable flies, you're trying to come back here and you're trying to put your head on the back. Since it's a little bit shorter on this part, it doesn't necessarily work great. If I bring my Rogue AB 3.0 over here, you'll see that the back is much, much higher on the top here. So this is probably just the one thing that I don't necessarily like about this bench. It does everything else fine. It's functionally, it works great. It has wheels on it. It folds up to be really pretty small. It's easy to move around, see here, and put in this corner or whatever you want to do. So now the other accessories that come with it. Here's one of them, which is the cable push down. This is the rope that we're all used to. Personally, like, I think that it is a nice piece. It comes with it, so you don't have to buy it extra. The only thing for me that I don't really like about this is this part right here moves around. So you got to make sure that it's in the right place before you do your cable push downs or your pullovers or whatever you like. It is built very, very nicely. I don't have any issues with this, but this does come with the machine. Let me see. This comes with the machine as well, which is a belt to help you do pull-ups. You could attach it to the cables here, put it up here. So then if you want to do some assisted pull-ups, you could do that with this. I don't actually use this like ever, but because I have my jammer bar over here that you could actually do pull-ups on. The other piece that it comes on, that comes with this machine, is this bar that you put in here that you could do lat pull downs or you could do push downs with it. The one thing I do find a little bit annoying about this is just really kind of the angles, because when you're doing the lat pull down, you're used to having a bar that is angled like this, but when it's on there, it's just not the most comfortable to actually use. But at least it comes with it, so you can use it. The extras that I did get for this machine are a couple different ones. So this is my only rep fitness piece that I did get to do tricep push downs, to do pullovers, to do some bicep curls. This is a pretty nice piece. Honestly, the knurling is kind of faded off there a little bit over 6 months of using it. It's not necessarily the nicest piece of equipment, but for the money, it works totally fine. Here's some other ones that I end up getting. So instead of using the tricep push down, the rope, I got this from Rogue Fitness. This to me works much better, mostly because it doesn't move here and it's really easy to use and it's nice on the hands. The foam inside, which I've mentioned in one of my previous videos, it's pretty cheap to be quite honest, but it works fine. It's really comfortable and it helps you get a nice, a better stretch. And then here is one other thing that I did get, which are the ankle cuffs from Rogue Fitness as well. This goes on the bottom of the shoe. This comes back around. It's a really nice, secure fit. These are like $50 or $60, so they are kind of expensive, but they work really, really well. And they also have multiple attachment points, which I know for other ones that are just like ankle cuff, you might not have multiple attachment points. So you could do curls, you could even do extensions outside, and you could do pushbacks for your glutes. So while this one is expensive, this one is really nice, and I tend to use this quite a bit for glute pushbacks. And then last but not least, this is one of the accessories that I got for this, which are the gym pins. These are pretty nice. You could add extra weight on here if you'd like for your lat pull downs or whatever. Do I think they're completely necessary? No, not really. But I kind of use them as extra weights if I want to do something else. And then you could just slide your plates into here as well. So there's the overview of the accessories that come with the machine, and the ones that I like and the ones that I don't like. So I'm going to show a couple of exercises that I just talked about with the attachments, just to show you in real time how long it does take, how smooth it is, and I'll kind of go from there. So I'm going to talk about the pull-up bar real quick. So as I told you, my space is quite limiting, but if you have some more space here, you can do pull-ups here, like no problem. It's really sturdy. I'm 195 pounds. This thing really doesn't move with me on it. The next one is tricep push downs. So I'm just going to change the height here really quickly. Change the carabiner really fast. Like I said, I'm just doing this in real time so you get an idea in real world use what it does look like and what it's like. I'm going to put a little bit extra weight on here and do some push downs. All right, pretty smooth, does work pretty well. And now I'm just gonna like put it down here and I'm gonna do some isolations for biceps. This is the nice thing about this, which I didn't mention in the accessories because they're on there. these straps here. So they have two different areas. So if you need a little bit less space or a little bit more, you can do that. Depends on your height as well. So for here, I'm going to put this on the shorter one just so I have a little bit extra range. Change the weight. Put it in there. All right. And then chest flies, because I think that one's probably pretty important to everybody. I'm not going to do it with the bench, but I'm going to put it here. I'm just going to put this up to the number 6. There are numbers here, top to bottom. Number 6, I think I'm on the same weight. So it's 20 pounds on each side, which is a 2-to-1 ratio. So it's actually 10 and 10. Get out here, lean out. Just remember, I'm over 6 feet tall. Get a pretty good stretch here. So these can be used for cable flies, no problem. Pretty easy. You kind of got to lean out a little bit though. Actually does make it worth it. And then that's all I'm going to show you here besides the lat pull down. So this is what I'm talking about, the lat pull down. Put this on here. And then I'm going to put the supplied bar on here. I also do have the straight bar that I got. Put the supplied bar just so you can get an idea. There. Change the weights. I'm going to hold the bar up here because I'm going to show you this in the con section real quick of why I have to do this. Okay, we got the bar on here. You would think it'd be really easy to just put your hands on here, but this is for lat pull downs. I don't know anybody that has their hands like this for lat pull downs. So I do find that you have to rotate the bar, kind of hold it in kind of a weird position. Sit down on your butt. Hopefully you can see that from there. And then do your lat pull downs from here. So on this side I have 90 and I have 90. So 2-to-1 ratio, I'm doing 90 pounds here. If I did the 15, which is 150 pounds, I don't know if it would necessarily hold me on the ground just because of how much I weigh. But for the lat pull downs, it will work. Being 6'1", you have to sit on the ground. However, it is a little bit annoying to do that. But it does work, especially for a machine that costs just a little bit over $1,000. I think there's always going to be a little bit of compromises for it. So no machine is without its faults, especially at this price point. So I'm going to show you a couple little annoyances or cons to this machine that you need to know about. One of them is the carabiners here. If you look up here, they get stuck like this, and they will also kind of be flipped around. I'm going to take this bar off of here real quick so you can see it. So they do get stuck like this in this position sometimes, and you kind of got to move them around. Sometimes they get turned around like this. This system, while I know it works fine for what it is, this is just one of the areas that just kind of is annoying after a while, because you're trying to take the bar off or you're trying to take things off and it's in the wrong position. It really ends up like this. I don't know why, but that's probably one of them. Of course, the height is a limitation. This is the other thing too. So I'm going to put my bar on here for a second. This bar probably weighs about 10 pounds, let's just say. I'm not 100% sure. So I put my attachment up here. I have it on here. It's hanging, right? I want to go and change the weight down here. So I'm going to change the weight. Put this here. Oh. So the bar weighs more than this piece and this. So that is probably a really good illustration of what I mean. So to change the weights, when you actually have something on here that weighs a decent amount, you have to take your hand, like literally take your hand, hold it up like this, trying to get out of the way so you can see me. take your weight pin or put it in there, or get it so it doesn't actually move at all, and slide it in there. So now I'm set for my next set. So now I could do my tricep push downs or whatever. But I'll be honest, this part right here, because this section doesn't weigh that much like the commercial machines were or other things, you actually have to hold that up. It is exactly the same if you had a lat pull down bar attached to the top here. So I have the bar attached. Just going to show you this one more time. I need to change the weight because I'm doing some more weight. I have to sit down on the ground here. I have to hold my arm up here, lift it up, change the weight on that side, change the weight on this side, and then do my pull down. I get it if you just set it up without the bar on here. You do not have to lift this up like this, but if you're trying to do different weights because you're within sets or you're, hey, I'm going to raise the weight for the next set, you have to do that pretty much every single time. If you have something on here that weighs over 5 pounds. With this, or with this right here, that's not a thing. So if you're supersetting between pull downs and curls, and you're using these two attachments here because they weigh next to nothing, that issue with changing the weights is not a problem. But with anything here, that is a problem. Besides that, everything else functionally works perfect. These are probably the two most annoying things, is the carabiner getting kind of weird, and then changing the weights when you have a bar on here. So that is the full review of everything that you need to know about the Inspire FTX or the Centr 2. I really do think it is a great machine for the price. Is it a commercial style machine? Nope. You saw in my section with the cons, just some of the annoying things that really have annoyed me for the last year or so of using this. Is it a deal breaker? Depends who you are. But the stacks are 150 pounds on each side, 2-to-1 ratio. So really it's 75 and 75. If you put it on there and doing two-hand things, it makes it 150. Doing the lat pull downs on the ground, it's not necessarily the best situation, but this is not really a lat pull down machine if you think about it, right? This is a functional trainer. It has really been amazing for tricep push downs, curls, flies, everything that you would think of doing and working with a functional trainer. For the price point too, very smooth operation, up and down, very, very smooth. I don't have any complaints about that. Build quality works pretty well also. And for me, it's made in the USA, which I am a huge proponent of that, and employing workers that put this together or design this in the USA, regardless if some of the materials are not sourced in the United States. So with that, I appreciate you tuning in. If you have any questions at all, please let me know about the unit because I have used this extensively for about a year. If you have not subscribed yet, please do so and give this video a like. And more importantly, you all just have a great day and enjoy your weekend.